Imagine trusting two of the most important people in your life, only to find out they've shattered your world, a broken bar together. What do you do when the betrayal comes from both sides, family and your best friend? This is the story of how I learned that trust, once broken, can never be the same. A story that shook my world, and made me question everything I thought I knew about loyalty. And it all started with a seemingly innocent friendship between my mother, a broken bar, and our neighbor. For as long as I can remember, we lived in a close-knit neighborhood. Everyone knew each other, everyone waved hello, and our neighbor, Mr. Collins, was no exception. He was a family friend, always lending a hand when my mom needed help around the house, whether it was fixing the broken fence or helping with groceries. It was comforting, in a way, to have him around. My mom was a single parent, so having someone who could offer some support, even if it was just a neighbor, meant a lot. But never, in my wildest dreams, did I think there could be more behind those smiles and favors. Then there was my best friend, Sarah. She'd been my rock through high school, late night phone calls, weekend sleepovers, and someone I could tell all my secrets to. We were inseparable. Or at least I thought we were. One day, though, things started to feel a broken bar off. My mom seemed more distracted, and Sarah, well, a broken bar. She started spending a lot of time at my house even when I wasn't around. "I just like hanging out with your mom," she'd say with a smile. I didn't think much of it at first, but I should have. It wasn't until one Friday night that the pieces started coming together. I had gone to a friend's birthday party, and Sarah was supposed to meet me there, but she never showed up. I figured she might have just changed her mind or had something come up. No big deal. The next day, I went home, and everything seemed normal. My mom was in the kitchen, making breakfast, and Sarah was sitting at the counter, laughing at something my mom said. But there was something in the way they interacted, a broken bar, something I couldn't quite place. It wasn't just friendly banter, it felt a broken bar intimate. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying their interactions in my mind, over and over again. Was I being paranoid? Was this just my mind playing tricks on me? A week later, I got my answer. It was late, and I was walking home after studying at the library. As I approached my house, I saw a familiar figure standing outside. It was Mr. Collins. At first, I thought he was just leaving after helping my mom with something, as usual. But then, as I got closer, I saw Sarah standing there with him. They were a broken bar holding hands. I froze. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Sarah and Mr. Collins? My brain couldn't process it. I watched, hidden in the shadows, as they spoke in hushed tones. And then, it happened. Leaned in and kissed her, right there, in front of my house. My best friend, a broken bar, and our neighbor. What the hell was going on? My heart was racing, my hands were shaking. But I couldn't move. I couldn't confront them. Not yet. I needed answers. I waited until Sarah left, and when I finally got the courage to walk up to the door, my world came crashing down again. Inside, I could hear voices, in my mom's voice, and Mr. Collins. But it wasn't the usual friendly conversation. There was something else. I pressed my ear against the door, and that's when I heard it. "Do you think she knows?" my mom's voice asked. "I don't think so," Mr. Collins replied. "But we have to be careful. If she finds out a broken bar." "If I find out a broken bar, what?" And then it hit me. My mom wasn't just close to Mr. Collins as a neighbor. They were together. And somehow, Sarah was involved too. The next few days were a blur. I didn't confront them immediately. I couldn't. I was too hurt, too betrayed, too angry to even think straight. How could they do this? My mother, who I trusted more than anyone in the world, was lying to me. And Sarah, a broken bar, the one person I thought I could confide in, was sneaking behind my back. It all came out in a heated confrontation. I remember standing in the living room, my voice shaking, as I asked my mom to explain. She didn't deny it. She didn't even try. Tears welled up in her eyes as she tried to justify her actions, telling me she was lonely, that Mr. Collins made her feel special. And Sarah? She said it was a mistake, that she didn't mean for any of it to happen. But how do you accidentally betray the two people who trust you the most? If you've ever had your trust broken like this, you know how devastating it can be. But remember, you're not alone. Trust is fragile, but so is betrayal. If you want more stories about real life challenges, emotional struggles, and overcoming the hardest moments, hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss the next one.